She didn't fight, she didn't beg, she didn't compete, she simply left. And that silence was the most dangerous move of all. Sit tight, besties, this story is about to unfold. Welcome to She Fairy Tales. Emily didn't just want the man, she wanted the life, the house, the ring, the calm smile, the soft confidence that came with being called wife, and the woman standing in her way was Sarah. Sarah lived a life many people admired quietly. She wasn't loud or dramatic, yet her presence filled every room she entered. She had a gentle confidence that didn't beg for attention, and that was exactly what made people stare. She was married to James, a calm and responsible man who worked in a consulting firm and earned enough to live comfortably. Their marriage wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful. They laughed easily, argued softly, and always found their way back to each other. James treated Sarah with visible respect, the kind that couldn't be faked. Sarah's glow was natural. Clear skin, relaxed posture, a smile that looked unforced. She dressed simply but elegantly, and people often whispered at events, "She's so put together." Sarah never noticed the eyes watching her closely. Emily Brown worked in the same office as James. From the first time she met Sarah, something stirred inside her, not hatred, but curiosity. She noticed how James' tone changed when his wife spoke, how his shoulders relaxed, how his eyes softened. At first, Emily told herself it was harmless admiration, but admiration slowly turned into comparison. Why does Sarah look so confident? Why does James listen to her like that? Why does her life look complete? Emily began checking Sarah's social media daily. Morning, night, during lunch breaks. She studied Sarah's captions, her poses, her smile. She zoomed in on her face, examining her skin like it held a secret. "She's not even finer than me," Emily whispered one night. "So why does she have everything?" Without realizing it, Emily stopped wanting James alone. She started wanting Sarah's life, the respect, the stability, the title. In that quiet jealousy, obsession was born. Emily told herself she wasn't copying Sarah. At least, not intentionally. It started with small things, harmless things. Sarah posted a mirror selfie one Saturday morning, wearing a soft beige dress, her hair packed into a low bun. The caption read, "Peace looks good on me." Emily stared at the photo for a long time. 2 days later, Emily posted a mirror selfie. Beige dress. Low bun. Same angle. Same caption. She laughed nervously when she hit post. "It's just a coincidence," she muttered. But coincidences began happening too often. When Sarah switched from bold makeup to a clean, nude look, Emily suddenly found heavy lashes unnecessary. When Sarah wore minimal jewelry, Emily removed hers too. When Sarah began smiling softly in photos instead of posing dramatically, Emily practiced that same gentle smile in front of her mirror. At work, people noticed. "Emily, you dress like James' wife these days," a colleague joked one afternoon. Emily laughed louder than necessary. "Oh please, is she the only one allowed to wear neutral colors?" But the comment stayed with her. Emily began studying Sarah more closely, the way she walked, the way she sat calmly, the way she spoke without rushing. She copied Sarah's posture, her tone, even the way she laughed quietly instead of throwing her head back. The copying soon moved online. Emily turned on post notifications for Sarah's account. Anytime Sarah posted, Emily saw it immediately. She saved Sarah's photos, zoomed in, and recreated them, same background, same pose, sometimes even the same emojis. It became almost funny. One evening, Emily spent nearly 30 minutes trying to angle her phone the same way Sarah had done earlier that day. "This lighting is not giving," Emily sighed, adjusting her position for the 5th time. But beneath the humor was something darker. Emily wasn't just copying Sarah's style anymore. She was copying her life in preparation, rehearsing for a role she believed would soon be hers. And somewhere deep inside her, a dangerous thought settled in. If she could look like Sarah, act like Sarah, then maybe she could replace her. The picture that finally broke Emily's self-control appeared on a Tuesday night. Sarah had posted a simple close-up selfie. No filter. No heavy makeup. Just soft lighting, calm eyes, and skin that looked smooth, healthy, and glowing. The caption was short, "Grateful for self-care." Within minutes, the comments exploded. What's your skincare routine? Your skin is glowing. Please drop the secret. Emily stared at the picture for a long time. She zoomed in. Zoomed out. Zoomed in again. She tilted her phone, as if the glow might disappear from another angle. This is not fair, she whispered. She walked to the mirror and examined her own face. Makeup covered it, but underneath, she saw stress, comparison, frustration. She wiped off her foundation and frowned. By the next afternoon, Emily made a reckless decision. She went to a small roadside skincare vendor near her apartment. The kind that promised miracles with handwritten labels and bold confidence. Emily pulled out her phone and showed the vendor Sarah's picture. I want my skin to look exactly like this, Emily said firmly. Exactly. The vendor smiled. No problem. I have the perfect cream. Emily didn't ask questions. She didn't ask for ingredients. She didn't think twice. She bought the cream and left feeling hopeful. That night, she applied it generously. By morning, her face was on fire. Her skin burned. Red patches appeared. Small blisters formed along her cheeks. Emily screamed and rushed to the mirror. This can't be happening, she panicked. Still, she refused to stop. Maybe it's just purging, she told herself, repeating words she'd read online. Day 2, peeling. Day 3, dark patches. Day 4, pain. Emily covered her face with thick makeup and sunglasses. At work, people asked questions. Are you okay? Your face looks swollen. Emily forced a laugh. It's just allergies. But every night, she still scrolled through Sarah's page, flawless, glowing, unbothered. Jealousy had pushed Emily past reason, and she still wasn't done. Emily had waited for this moment longer than she cared to admit. The affair didn't start with sex, it started with conversations that lasted too long. Late workdays became routine. Everyone else left, but Emily stayed behind, pretending to finish reports. James noticed. He offered help. They talked. About stress. About work. About life. Emily listened carefully, the way Sarah listened. She laughed softly. She nodded patiently. She never complained. James felt understood. One evening, it rained heavily. Emily complained about missing her ride. James offered to drop her off. The car ride was quiet at first, then emotional. Emily spoke about feeling invisible, unappreciated, and lonely. James should have stopped it, but he didn't. One wrong moment turned into another. When it happened, Emily felt victorious. She lay there smiling, convinced she had finally won. She's going to lose him, Emily whispered to herself. But the victory didn't last. James went home that night, to Sarah. He kissed his wife gently. He ate dinner. He laughed at her jokes. And guilt sat heavily in his chest. He avoided Emily's eyes at work the next day, acting distant. Emily didn't understand. She expected a change, coldness, distance, neglect, but nothing changed. James still treated Sarah with love. Still planned weekends. Still called her during lunch breaks. Emily watched from a distance, confused and angry. Hadn't she copied everything right? The clothes, the smile, the patience. Emily grew desperate. She began sending messages, compliments, subtle reminders of their secret. James responded less and less. His replies became short, formal. Meanwhile, Emily's skin worsened. The fake cream left dark patches that makeup could no longer hide. Her confidence cracked. Her obsession deepened. She wasn't just jealous anymore, she was afraid. Afraid that despite everything she'd done, she would still lose. And for the first time, the thought crossed her mind, what if Sarah was never the problem? By the time Emily realized James was slipping away, panic had already taken root in her chest. This was not how it was supposed to go. She had copied Sarah's clothes, copied her attitude, copied her patience, even ruined her own skin trying to copy her glow. Yet James still went home to Sarah every night. Emily sat alone in her apartment one evening, staring at her phone, refreshing Sarah's social media page like it owed her answers. There Sarah was again, smiling, peaceful, unbothered. A photo of dinner on the table. Another of flowers James had bought her. Emily's hands trembled. She doesn't deserve this, Emily whispered angrily. That night, she made a decision: if James wouldn't leave Sarah willingly, then Sarah would have to fall. Emily started small. She created a fake email account and sent anonymous messages to Sarah. Vague messages. Dangerous messages. Ask your husband where he really goes after work. Not all smiles mean loyalty. Sarah read them and frowned, but she didn't panic. She trusted her marriage. That trust infuriated Emily. So Emily escalated. She edited screenshots. Old messages. Half-truths mixed with lies. She planned carefully, rehearsing reactions in her head. She imagined Sarah crying, packing her bags, walking away in shame. Emily smiled at the fantasy. But reality refused to cooperate. James still showed affection toward his wife. Still defended her. Still ignored Emily's increasing messages. When she tried to confront him emotionally, James shut her down firmly. This was a mistake, he said one evening. It can't continue. Emily felt the ground shift beneath her. Her skin had grown worse. The dark patches from the fake cream deepened, and makeup settled awkwardly on her face. She avoided mirrors now. Avoided bright lights. Avoided questions. Yet she couldn't stop. Jealousy had eaten too much of her sanity. She stared at Sarah's life, desperate to erase the woman she had tried so hard to become. And she still didn't realize, the closer she got to destroying Sarah, the closer she was to destroying herself. The truth didn't come out with shouting, it came out quietly. Sarah found out on an ordinary evening, the kind that didn't warn you before it changed your life. James had fallen asleep early on the couch, his phone buzzing softly beside him. Sarah wasn't snooping. She only wanted to silence the notification, but the message preview froze her. I miss you. Please don't ignore me. Her heart dropped. Sarah stood there for several seconds, breathing slowly, trying to convince herself it meant nothing. But something inside her shifted. A woman always knows when peace begins to crack. She unlocked the phone. What she saw felt unreal. Messages, dates, deleted conversations recovered. Photos she wished she had never seen. Sarah didn't scream. She sat down. Her hands trembled, but her face stayed calm. She scrolled carefully, taking screenshots, reading everything twice. She needed clarity, not chaos. When James woke up and saw her sitting there, his face changed. Sarah. I can explain. She raised her hand. Not yet, she said softly. She asked questions calmly. Where? When? How long? James broke down. His voice cracked as he confessed. He cried. He apologized. He blamed weakness. He begged. Sarah listened, not because she believed him, but because she needed closure. What did she want? Sarah asked quietly. James hesitated. She wanted to be you. That sentence hurt more than the affair itself. Sarah laughed once, a short, empty laugh. I never competed with anyone, she said. I was just living. That night, Sarah packed a small bag. Not because she was weak, but because she needed space to think clearly. James watched helplessly as she walked away with dignity. Meanwhile, Emily waited. She refreshed her phone. Checked her messages. Expected chaos. Expected victory, but nothing came, no confrontation, no drama, no announcement, just silence. And for the first time, Emily felt fear instead of jealousy. Sarah left without noise, no shouting, no fighting, no public embarrassment. She walked away quietly, not because she was weak, but because she needed a clean mind to plan a perfect revenge without distraction. The house felt empty immediately. James tried to act strong, but the silence swallowed him. He missed Sarah's presence, the way she organized his life, reminded him of meetings, encouraged him when work felt heavy. At night, he cried quietly, apologizing to empty rooms. He sent messages Sarah never replied to. Emily noticed the silence, and she took it as her perfect moment to strike. One evening, she dressed carefully. Soft clothes. Light perfume. She carried a food flask and went straight to James' house. Confident this time would be different, but when she entered, reality shocked her. The house was scattered, dirty dishes, unmade bed, unwashed clothes. James sat on the couch like a man whose world had ended, eyes dull, shoulders slumped, beard rough, body drained. Emily felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. She consoled him, spoke softly. She arranged the house and did the dishes, stayed longer than invited. She tried to force closeness, touching his arm, leaning into him, but James never looked her way. His eyes were fixed on the floor. "You're not her," he said quietly. Weeks passed. Sarah didn't return. James' life began to crumble. His business performance dropped. Meetings were missed. Deals failed. He grew sick often, tired, unfocused. Sarah had been the backbone behind his success, organizing, advising, supporting silently. Without her, he was lost. 6 weeks later, Sarah returned, calm, prepared, unbothered. Emily froze in shock when she saw her standing in the house. Before Emily could speak, Sarah poured a prepared mixture, pepper-infused liquid, onto her. Emily screamed, crying, running outside in pain and humiliation. James rushed in shock. Sarah picked up Emily's bag, threw it outside, and said firmly, "Never return here again. You are bad luck." James hugged Sarah tightly, sobbing, "I'm sorry. I was wrong." Sarah opened her laptop. She played CCTV footage, every visit, every move, every manipulation. "I left," Sarah said calmly, "but my eyes never left this house. I needed to know the truth." And finally, the jealous side chick lost everything. Jealousy never wins. Take home moral lesson: jealousy destroys what it tries to copy. Patience exposes what lies try to hide, and silence, when guided by wisdom, always wins. If this story touched you, please like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I truly want to hear from you. Subscribe to Shishi Fairy Tales for more stories like this, because we have many more coming just for you. Thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and most of all, I love you. See you in the next story.